So we've got the Atari 800 back on the bench, and we're going to address something that just bothers me today, and that is this. Can you hear all the spring noise and hinge noise? That just bugs me. A lot more than it probably should, but it definitely bugs me. And so I'm going to see if I can lubricate those springs up a bit and stop that. Now, in my 800 here, it's a late generation 800, slightly cost reduced. It doesn't have the little thumb wheels things that release that top cover. Instead, there is a, if I can get it out here without dropping it inside, a little metal plate and a screw that need to come out to release the top. That's one of the signs this is a later generation cost reduced. The other one is that the left-hand cartridge doesn't actually have the edge connector soldered onto the PCB. So again, another sign there that it is a cost reduced unit. Now this should lift off, and if I remember right, it comes forward. See where the springs are. I'm going to attempt to set the computer out of the way. I think, like I've said in earlier videos, I never owned an 800. I'd never really used one. I mean, for a very short period of time, like 20 minutes. I played Star Raiders on one in the early 80s, I believe. Had to have been the early 80s. And that's been it. And I didn't know a whole lot about it, and I bought this one, and it's become one of my favorite little machines here. I just love the form factor. I am floored at what it's capable of, especially for the period in time and the OS, things like that, and how well that all works. Okay, I obviously screwed up here. Without those held down. All I'm trying to do is get kind of a view into here where I can figure out where to put some lube on it. At this point, I guess I can release the springs. It's not going to hurt to do that. It's captive. It's not going to fly across the room. Well, I say that. This one is awfully tight. Huh. There we go. That should actually, I believe, release the entire mechanism. That was molded and attached together, so there's some way that was put together. Wow, I'm really kind of floored here that I'm being I may never get this back together based on how this is going. There we go. We're finally out. Those springs are basically permanently on where they need to be. They end up like that. So let's take a look at where we can add some lubrication here. I'm going to use a little bit of lithium, I think, grease. several places to put it. Not going to need a lot of it. Most of the noise was, of course, the spring, and we will put a little bit of lube for the spring to kind of run in once we get it put back together. Now, these also they don't really run up against, so that's really the majority of the load bearing surfaces. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just add a little bit more on these as well. Like I said, all the noise we were hearing, I'm confident was the springs and not necessarily plastic on plastic, but it's not going to hurt here to lube this up. Of course, this seems like I can actually get it to go back together. Which is done like so. Do I have a little bit of paper towel floating around here someplace? I do. I'm not going to actually engage the spring yet, but we can reintroduce the plate. Well, I may have to because it hits up on the spring over here. So the spring is all the way up there. Well, we'll come back and lube that after. Actually, it might be easier to do it before. I'm just going to wipe some along the surface here that the spring runs against. Put the spring back on. This is absolutely a case of turn backwards. Feel it drop into the original threads. And then turn forward. Let's maybe come to this one. Should probably use a better fitting screwdriver for these screws. There it was. Nope. Lube on this edge here again that the spring rides on. And look at that. A little bit of squeal still someplace. Oh, I see. There's one more spot I can lubricate. So it looks like there's a... Is that actually right up against that? No, I guess it doesn't. And there's a fly in the room. Oh, don't get out of my face, you little... I won't use the swear word I was about to use. Still a bit of a squeak, but... damn it. It's the lubrications slowly working in. And the spring's no longer on this side, actually. I think the spring may be on incorrectly on that side. So we'll take it apart again. The spring isn't staying engaged all the way open like it is on this side. And I suspect the spring isn't caught up over a lip like it is here. We'll find out here. It's not, and that's probably where that extra squeaking's coming from. This was meant to be there. Okay. Again, the reason you turn them backwards and reuse the original threads that were cut. Can't get it to start. I suspect that will remove at least some of that extra noise, having that spring riding in the right place. No, oh, stupid fly. Why is it upstairs? It got in when I was letting the dogs out, and it's been, of course, irritating me all day. Not actually. I'm looking to see if there's any place else I could be putting in a little bit of lubrication. There is. That is the springs making all that noise. Little things that make you crazy. I don't know why it's not just popping open, where the tension's coming from. Oh, it does actually rub up against there now that I look at it. So let's lubricate these. It does actually, of course, it rides up against that little bit of metal there. That's why it's there, and that's why it pulled everything together when I screwed it into place. I don't know why I didn't think those were touching. And you can see the one that it's actually riding on here because of all the black on it. So let's see what that does. Well, it is what it is. It's going to make a little bit of noise. It's better than it was. At least I believe it is. I've attempted to do something to reduce the noise. Oh. The metal plate slides back in and gets captured. There it is. These get set down on, and the screw gets driven down through. And these are self-tappers again, so I am turning it backwards to find the threads that were cut the first time it was driven in. Knew I was going to drop it, because, you know, there's no way I couldn't drop it. It is kind of a difficult position to work in. Now, compared to what we had before, it's a lot quieter. It actually comes open on its own now, where it used to only come part way up. I'm good with that. Guess not much else to do here. It's gotten a little bit dusty, but it's been out and been being played, so I bought a Super Breakout. I've been playing that. I've got one of the paddles I need to repair. It's got a dirty pot in it. We'll tackle that in a future video. Not a big job. Well, enjoyed sharing this with you. We'll talk soon.